Welcome. You're listening to the I'm Wired to Inspire podcast, creatively engineered by Nicole, the inspiration specialist. I'm Wired to Inspire is a powerfully packed 5-minute podcast filled with inspiration and encouragement to get you through your day. It's designed to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Now stay tuned for your host, Nicole, the inspiration specialist, on today's episode of I'm Wired to Inspire.
Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today on my podcast. Y'all, so right now was just a pop-up prophetic word that God had given me, and really it's more like a word of wisdom, a word of encouragement, a word of confirmation for somebody who needs it. So let's go back it's 2018. So let's go back, I believe it was early 2016. And God had put it on my heart to send somebody an email and to kind of let them know about something that, was brewing around them. And at the time, I didn't really know the person that well, but, I did what God told me to do and they received what I said. And it had a lot to do with, who was around them. So, they said, nah, check it out. Thank you. So, that was that. So that was what? Like I said, y'all, 2016. Now we're talking about 2018. Now, mind you, this word that I'm giving you is for somebody who's being impatient, for somebody who is thinking that, you're looking at somebody in a bad situation, but you're not keeping your eyes on God. Because if you keep focusing on what they're doing, you're going to miss God. So, I gave them the information or whatever. And, it was weird because things started getting kind of funny with them, right? So I was like, okay, God, I was obedient. Now, I wasn't trying to do nothing that you didn't tell me to do, but okay. So fast forward to summer 2017, right? So God had me send them a prayer, right? Because again, y'all, my spirit had gotten so unsettled for the same reason that I sent the email about like a long time ago. And the Lord just kept showing me in the spirit like what was going on. So I sent them a prayer and they pretty much roasted me, went off on me, telling me to focus on my purpose. And I was like, wow. And they had never behaved like that before with me. So that confirmed to me what the Lord was showing me. Again, I'm not going to be specific, but I think you guys can follow the point because I want you guys to get the message, whoever this word is for, this word of confirmation is for. Anyway, I had to swallow my pride and I had to just say, you know what? I'm just okay, God, you're testing my flesh because I don't like how this person responded to me. And I don't have no desire to tell them nothing to, try to mess up their life or offend them. This is not my opinion. And you stopping me. I'm traveling and trying to do what I got to do. And you stopping me to hit them up. So I had my little powwow with God. He was like, Robin, just take the L. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. I said, okay. So mind you, the first time I told them was probably, I think I said either 2015 or 2016. And then the Lord came back with the same message in the summer of 2017. Okay. So because of that person's response, and I wasn't used to it, they never responded like that again. Based on what God was showing me, I understood why they were acting like that because there was something else going on. Okay. And y'all, let me tell you the dope thing about hearing God and not just making stuff up and trying to push things and try to make hustle prayers and all that stuff. If you really just gently keep your focus on God and you're not praying to God to try to get something to happen in the sense where, you got to be careful, y'all, because if you start preying on people and saying certain things and coveting people, it could turn into witchcraft. So you have to be careful that you're not nicknaming something God and it's really you because you seeing something play out in front of your face. Like you have to be careful with that. Okay. And a lot of Christians end up doing that, not meaning any harm, but just not understanding how it works. When you read the word of the Lord, it'll show you about prayer. It'll show you what happens when effectual fervent prayer of the righteous avail it much. You don't want to be hustle praying for somebody because that's not necessary when it's something that God has assigned you to. No, I'm not saying it's not easy. No, I'm not saying that it's, a piece of cake and it's an easy assignment. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is it becomes a red flag when there's certain levels you get to and it almost can become obsessive because you're trying to get this person to change and you're really not allowing God to do it. Okay. So I wasn't in that situation. I was definitely in a place of allowing God to do it, but I'm gonna tell y'all, it didn't feel good. because God was making me aware of things, but because they were just doing what they wanted to do, and then, and maybe being disobedient. I don't know. They would have to take that part up with God. Or maybe they were aware and didn't care. Maybe they didn't think it was a big deal. I don't know. Again, that part is not my business. Okay, so I don't know who that's for too. Some of y'all have been assigned to pray for somebody. Some of y'all have been given a word to maybe share with somebody. You've prayed about it. God has confirmed that you are actually supposed to release it in this season, in this time, but you are focusing on their response to you. Listen, y'all, when God is telling you to do that, you cannot worry about what their response is going to be, because if it's really from God, if it's truly, really from God, okay, then you will hear from God properly. And you won't have to force, you won't have to shove, you won't do any of these things that your flesh will compel you to do. Okay? So with that being said, after their response, when I sent a similar message in the summer, almost a year and a half later, I was feeling some kind of way. I'm not going to lie. So I wrote out a prayer to God, and I was like, God, listen, I know I felt you do this. But I just want to make sure it's you. So I looked up some scriptures, y'all. I wrote out some scriptures, and, I prayed and I asked God. I was like, okay, listen, just confirm to me. Please confirm to me what this is. Please show me, show me what this is about. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what I'm seeing, but I've been seeing this. I saw this coming a long time ago. And again, I don't know what's going on. I'm not around the person, right? So again, some of you are assigned to people. Some of you have to pray for people. Again, not obsession, not overkill, not making plans behind the person back, but genuinely going on what God is telling you to do for them. Okay. Some of you are in that position. And guess what? There is nothing to confirm if that's actually going on. So you have to understand that sometimes when God gives you those words and you're afraid to move forward, it's because he's trying to stretch you in the spirit, and he's really testing you to make sure that you can hear him and you're not moving on your flesh, and that you trust him. You have to learn how to trust when you hear God, because some of y'all hear God and you be ignoring it because you're like, oh, I'm scared. I don't know what that is. Yo, listen, you got to start stepping out on faith, because when you step out on faith, when you say, okay, God, I hear you. Okay, I'm going to say this thing. I'm going to do this thing. It changes everything, not only for you, but for them, because, you got to keep going up higher spiritually. You can't stay stuck where you are. You have to keep going up. You never want to be stuck in that space where, things are just in the same place. You don't want to be in the same place you were last year spiritually. You don't want to be there today. You should have gone up higher. And a lot of times God does that by stretching. He does that by stretching you. And not only that, he wants to make sure that you trust him enough to say it. He wants to make sure he can trust you enough, to see if you're caught up in what somebody's going to say. He wants to see if you're going to put a person before him, if you're going to treat it like an idol. If you're going to say, okay, Lord, no, I trust you. What are you saying we need to do about this? How does this work? He wants to know about that from you. So what I would encourage you to do is to make sure that if you do feel that tugging, if you are confused, or you're not sure if it's God speaking to you, just begin to pray. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to lead you to go talk to somebody else about it. I think you should pray. Just keep praying to God, and he is going to give you exactly what you need. I don't know how he's going to give it to you, but he is going to give it to you. So let me wrap this up. So after I wrote out the prayer, I was really heavily concerned, because I'm like, okay, I've told this person this twice, and you keep telling me to tell them this. I'm not going to say anything else after this, but you have to tell me what to do. And please confirm to me if what you have been telling me is correct. Okay. Literally about a month after, God showed me, like, I saw everything for myself. Everything God had been showing me in the spirit realm, I was able to literally physically see. Okay. When I saw that, when I tell you I had the most powerful shout, I was so excited, because I had known then, by me doing what God told me to do, even though I had to take a couple licks for it, it confirmed that everything God showed me was exactly what I saw, and I was not out of order Again, at the right timing when he was telling me to share this information. So I want y'all to watch the timeline. I initially got the word, like I said, 2015, 2016. I had to come back with the word again for the person in 2017. Then shortly after in 2017, the Lord showed me in the natural. He had been showing me in the spirit for almost 2 years that it was brewing. And so he showed me in 2017 in the natural what it was. So let's go from last summer all the way through to March. Y'all, they're just starting to pay attention to the word. This started 2015, we 2018. So this is what I want to tell somebody listening. You are praying for somebody, you are assigned to somebody, and you are looking at the clock. You feel like your prayers are not working. You feel like God is not listening. You feel like maybe you miss God. You feel like it's a whole bunch of other stuff. I just stopped. I don't know where this came from, y'all, but listen to me. You just have to do what God tells you to do and keep it moving. That's it. If God tells you to share something with somebody, if he's putting something on your heart, just do what he tells you to do and keep it moving. Do not sit there and focus on that person. Do not sit there and focus on that thing. Just keep your focus on God. And if he consistently gives you instructions, then you do that. But make sure that you don't get caught up and being afraid. Don't get caught up in fear, because I'm going to tell y'all something. You know how beautiful, let me tell you what's beautiful about God. When he's giving you something, he will always confirm it. Let me tell you, the next time God gives you something, just don't tell anybody. Allow him to come and confirm it. Ask him to confirm it and keep asking him that if that's what you need to do. Okay. Let him do that for you, because somebody's listening and you're on the same path. You've been telling somebody something for years, because I want you to notice something too. God only told me to tell them twice. Okay. He told me to tell them 2 times, and it was almost 2 years apart. Okay. And that was it. God said, that's it after that. I just do it again. But I'm going to have you do it this way. Because the first time I explained it, the second time he said, send a prayer. So my whole thing to you is, sometimes God will be so specific and you will know that it's him, because the instructions are things that you wouldn't even think to do. The instructions are things you're like, God, I don't want to do this. No. I don't want to be bothered. Because that's how I was. I'm like, Lord, I'm minding my business, living my life. I'm out here trying to flourish. And you got me coming over here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do this and that. And he'll just come back and say, hey, Robin, listen, I called you for such a time as this. So you need to step up and handle your business. Because what you don't know is, you might be the only person, whether they tell you or not, but you might be the only person they know is real. They may have a bunch of people in their face saying they're real and they know me, but they know that you really know me. And they may not say it. They may not show it. They may not tell it, but they know if you done messed around and told them something twice, it ain't no joke. So y'all, you just never know what's going on behind the scenes. And another thing I'll tell you as I close, when everything is all said and done, everything will come out anyway. So just make sure you are not in your flesh. Make sure you drop that fear and keep it moving. So whoever is listening, the thing that I want you to take away from this pop-up prophetic podcast is this: stick with God. Do not move from him. Do not become obsessive. Do not start picking it apart. Just do what he tells you to do and keep it moving. Let me tell you, if God consistently, you feel like God keep telling you stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week about the person, that's not God. Okay. When it becomes obsessive and it becomes idolatry and it's, but God, y'all, you have got to be careful, because we are in a time where this is what the enemy will attack. He will attack your prayer life. He will attack your mind. Keep praying Romans 12:2 over yourself. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, to make sure that you have a refreshing, so that when God is telling you things, when God is speaking to you, the heart can be deceitful. So sometimes, you can be thinking you feeling something deep in your heart and God is telling you to do something, and it could be your flesh. So for the person listening, and you know that you just been feeling like, I thought I told them, they don't want to listen. It is not your job to keep throwing it in their faces. Just do whatever God is telling you to do at the time and let him be God. Okay? Please do not leave him. When he tells you what to do, And whatever the case, for some of y'all, it may not be a person. In my case, I just felt led to share the story about the person. I have similar stories about situations and opportunities. In fact, I'm going through one right now. And when I get the final on that, I'm going to pop up and tell y'all about that when God releases me to. Because this is just about a person. I'm going to tell you something about a place. And it's going to trip you out. But the Lord is not moving me yet to release that word yet. But that word is coming. Trust me, sooner than later. But please be encouraged. So when he tells you, you listen, but you keep your eyes on him. When he gives you marching orders, you still keep your eyes on him while you're marching. But you're not meant to take that thing and put it above God, nicknaming it him, but you just putting all your flesh in it, just being obsessive, getting all caught up. Just pay attention and listen. Be careful, because y'all, the obsession comes because of the time. You're just getting caught up in the time. So then you start obsessing about it because you're thinking your prayer's not working. And you're like, oh my God, it's 10 years later. It's 5 minutes later. It's 20 days later. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Y'all, God is a God of peace. He's not a God of confusion. So make sure that you trust him enough to know that if he's told you to say something or to do something or whatever, just do it. But y'all, after you do it, just keep your focus on him. Don't keep getting discouraged because it's taking forever. You feel like it's taking all day, it's all year, whatever. Do not get focused on that. Just do what he tells you to do. Keep it moving and keep living your life. If he tells you to pray, if he tells you to fast, if he tells you to consecrate, if he tells you to be quiet, if he tells you to do whatever, just make sure you do it. But stop looking at the clock. If you're assigned, handle your assignment, but keep it moving. Stick with God. I'm wired to inspire. I hope you are too.
Thanks for listening to I'm Wired to Inspire podcast at I'mWiredToInspire.com. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word and be sure to hit the 5-star rating on iTunes. For more information on this podcast and inspirational products and services, log on to the inspirationspecialist.life or I'mWiredToInspire.com. And remember to live your authentic purpose. Thanks again, and see you next time.